This is for you, Capricorn. Get ready for the annular solar eclipse occurring on the 1st of the month. Also, there's going to be a penumbral lunar eclipse on the 16th of the month. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. If you'd like to get in contact with us, please visit www.readingsbyrosemary.com, and there we provide you with all the information you need on getting up-to-date information on our spiritual consultations, our psychic astrology, our Rosicrucian Kabbalah, as well as Merkaba classes, seminars, healing wings of light, and that kind of thing. Now, the annular solar eclipses don't completely envelop the disk of the sun. This current annular eclipse is going to be in the sign of Virgo, and that's going to give us the divine tone. It's going to activate the divine tone of the sign of the Virgin, which is I analyze, during a new moon, and that's going to serve to accentuate the effects of the current North Node in Virgo with the moon at its apogee, having the result of causing a sort of an emotional distancing. And you won't have so much of an issue with feelings of the heart as much as it's going to be logic. It's not going to be so much about the right brain, emotional, artistic abilities. It's going to be, that are subjective. It'll be more about the left brain, objective, logical types of thinking and concerns. Of course, if you're left-handed, it's going to be switched, but even with left-handed people, they tend to be a little more, it tends to be that they use both sides of their brain more evenly. But that's a topic for another time. All right, now, during this event, you can understand that the ability to begin to use the creative aspect is going to come back around when all of the events that are going on in Virgo sort of pass through their time and go into new phases and enter new natural houses or new signs. Now, the Earth and the Sun and the Moon will be completely aligned during this event. And again, it's important to note that when all of these planets that are currently in Virgo, including the North Node of the Moon, when all of these move into other aspects, you're going to feel less like you need to be such a perfectionist. So you'll feel better about that part of your life. Although you're good, Capricorn, at being a perfectionist. So you'll be able to relax a little bit later. Now, the penumbral lunar eclipse is in the sign of Pisces, and as well as the South Node of the Moon being in Pisces. That affects more of the letter of the law, where the North Node is more of the spirit of the law, which it's more like the Abrahamic law, whereas the South Node is more of the Mosaic law. So just understand that one is karma, one is dharma. The North Node being dharma, the South Node being karma. It's all the same concept. It's just in different languages. So saying that one person's language is evil and going to send them to Hades is, quite frankly, racist. So one has to understand that deeming one person's culture and the way that they characterize the deity and the language that they use is just racism. That's all it is. So one has to understand what one is talking about if one wants to indeed be magnanimous. Okay, with that said, during a full moon in the sign of Pisces, again, it's a penumbral, so it's more of a diffuse shadow. And it's not as intense as during a partial lunar eclipse, like when you take a bite out of the moon and the face of the moon. It's not as melodramatic as when the moon looks like it's been dipped in blood during the full moon. That's a very dramatic, intense effect that the full moon, that a total lunar eclipse can have. But this penumbral lunar eclipse, it's more like it's kind of a shady, shadowy. It's not that intense. It's not that easy to see, but still, it will have the effect of previously planted stealthy seeds, sure to bloom later, although most likely and not probably in the manner which the engineer of such seeds had in mind. Now, rounding off the month is a second new moon, not full moon, a second new moon. That event is on the 30th of the month of September in the sign of Libra, which occurs for those using Eastern Daylight Time, while sky watchers utilizing Greenwich Mean Time must wait for the 1st of next month for this lunar phase. Now, Saturn travels direct to the sign of Sagittarius all month long, and that's going to affect or influence you, Capricorn, in your 12th house of spirituality, showing you a fresh new method of activating your best spiritual self so that you can always be at your most beneficent, constructing strong inner knowing about higher frequencies and light spectrums, which increases your personal supremacy and enlivens your own spiritual frequencies to the point where folks are drawn to your inner light that shines brilliantly upon their need to light up their shadow side self. So they need to have the more shadowy, shady side of them illuminated, so they're going to want to bask in your brilliance during this event. Now, this transit affects everyone in the natural 9th house of life path meaning. Forward March is the chant of the goat this month, finding that the future is now the target of the post-modern period, with newly fresh presentations of spiritual disciplines meant to propel you into new meaning in your life and discovering the path of your life that gives you the finest that life has to offer you. Enlightening others is your appropriate path. And this time around, in this incarnation, it's a good choice for the things that are of immense concern to Capricorn as you rise up the socioeconomic caste system into the superior echelons of society, where recognized speech and behavior are the only way to navigate a kingdom where everyone feels permitted to do precisely as they please. Again, everyone feels entitled right now. So understand, nobody feels guilty anymore. Everybody's understood how things work. People are more akamai, more smart than they were at one time, because we're connected. We're being given great gobs of information. Therefore, please understand that people know what's going on because of all of this communication and teaching and information. So just remember that people all feel entitled right about now. Now, equality is justice, so unwavering attitudes of dignified community activities need to be established for the well-being of all creatures. The planetary angel of Saturn is Cassiel, who is the speed of God, since Saturn was seen in the Chaldean order of the planets in their system of astrology as being the planet with the greatest speed when considered from the Earth. So it matters where you are when you're considering the, whatever astronomical effects you are looking at. Now, the Archangel Cassiel is known to be assigned by God to watch over creation without interfering. He is said to be a tearful and melancholy angel who spends eternity in solitude, who is present upon the death of kings. Saturn is known as God the lawgiver, found in Genesis 2:16-17, and he commanded him, saying, of every tree of paradise thou shalt eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat, for in what day soever thou shalt eat of it, thou shalt die the death. Capricorn, Pluto continues to travel retrograde in your sign of the goat from the 1st through the 25th of the month, affecting you in your first house, calling to mind poignant reminiscences about your ability to bestow good luck to yourself and others around you, as well as what life will present to you in the future. The goat needs to stick to your guns at this time, especially until the 26th of the month, when Pluto goes direct in Capricorn, still affecting you in your first house, specifically while influencing others in their 10th house of social standing and fame, which is your forte. keep in mind that when you add the astrocartography and you add the times and all of that and time zones, you end up with even more precise houses that take it away from being a natural house, and it clicks it in. But that doesn't negate the general natural houses that are affected by everyone, then by your sign in general, and then by you specifically. It doesn't negate. It's like when you flesh the body out, you have the bones, and then you have the, muscles and fascia and all that, and you put the skin on. So understand, it's like the fleshing out of something. So that's how this works. Now you will find yourself invaluable to others when Pluto goes direct in the natural 10th house. We have an Enochian angel prediction, especially for you at the end of this video, so stay right here, don't go anywhere. Now, let's see how your ruling planet of Saturn affects you this month, Capricorn. Your Earth Guardian Archangel Uriel speaks to you from your Capricorn Astrology Archangel, who is Hanael. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from your Capricorn angel, who is Hanael, who resides over the goat's cardinal Earth nature, and these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. First, we have Hanael's love, rapture, and romance transmission. Be on the lookout for a man born under the sign of Gemini, the twins, to send you a very important message in the way of some kind of, it could be anything, it could be a text, it could be something, a letter he actually sends you, snail mail. It could be all kinds of different ways. Remember, the more ways there are to do something, the less people are likely to do it. My grandma used to say, if you only had one dress, you wouldn't be confused about what to wear. Now, would you? Okay, so understand you're going to get a message. You're going to have to search concerning your emotional relationships, which he is very edgy about. This is why he's using all these kind of clandestine techniques in order to try to communicate with you in ways that, he's going to keep changing his mode of communicating with you, again, because he's edgy about it. He's frightened, quite frankly. All right. So you might even say he's having really a nervous breakdown over it. People just used to say that people weren't insane or crazy. Used to say they were having a nervous breakdown, whatever that means. And people weren't actually having this disorder and that disorder, or having various and sundry problems. They were just said to be a spaz. So you can, you can make something into a diagnosis, or you can just see it as part of nature. Now, his mission in life is to find the balance between heaven and earth by using, and listen closely, what is your own subjective viewpoint and what is true objective reality. He will be literally jumping up and down about this because this is the most significant concern in his life. Understand that. People seldom actually see him as he really is, and he knows it. This guy is very complex, and he's always wearing his most alluring and, come on posture, and he never intends to do anything with malice of forethought. That's the information coming through to you. If you don't know how to romance someone that you have your sights set on for marriage, you should consult the Song of Solomon 2:4-5. He brought me into the cellar of wine. He set in order charity in me. Stay me up with flowers. Compass me about with apples, because I languish with love. Now for Hanael's money, wealth transmission, this month, expect a woman born under the sign of Leo to come to your rescue this month. If you've lost your faith in others, especially when it comes to your money issues, this is what this is going to be about. Because if you've lost your faith, this is how you are going to have your faith restored in others regarding the trust when it comes to money. Have you also really lost your faith in major institutions that you thought were supposed to be looking out for your hard-earned investments? That's another area where many people have really lost their trust. Her vision of your future is supernal because she has the uncanny ability to see and explain both sides of the same coin. This has so much to do with your perceptions about social responsibility. You're telling yourself that you are financially indisposed, but she has the chicken soup recipe, and believe me, she makes the best soup in the world to heal whatever might be ailing you. My paternal grandfather used to tell me to give to the poor in all modesty without fanfare. Consider Matthew 6:2. Therefore, when thou dost an alms seed, sound not a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they might be honored by men. Amen, I say to you, they have received their reward. Nevertheless, my grandpa used to also say that when we tithe to God, this should be done with a generous spirit. Let's look at Matthew 23:23. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you tithe mint and anise and cumin, and have left the weightier things of the law, judgment and mercy and faith. These things you ought to have done, and not to leave those undone. Now for Hanael's health and fitness transmission, keep an eye out for a man born under the sign of Cancer to come up with incredible suggestions when it comes to how you can attain your ultimate health this month. This guy has got brains like an encyclopedia, being a phenomenal salesman. He probably sold used cars at one time in his life, so he really knows what makes people tick. This guy can talk to you into he can talk about anything, but the problem is he can talk you into anything also. But I need you to understand that he really believes in his health products, so he is not going to take no for an answer. He's hot to trot about his new brain boosting drinks. That's what it's about. Intelligence enhancement is his top selling product, so you can get excited about that, but understand he doesn't take no for an answer. Now, my material and if he doesn't take no for an answer, as far as I know, that might not be something you want to deal with, or you might just want to say nothing, and, you know, then they're going to keep trying to come to you, and then when they get there, if you've raised your energy enough, as Stuart Wilde used to say, then you can sell them something. Just tell them, well, we can do that, it'll cost you this much, and they'll back right off. If anybody doesn't take no for an answer, you start pushing them, and they back right off. It's very simple. Okay, now my maternal grandmother used to advise me in health from the scripture. We read in the book of Proverbs 16:24-25, well-ordered words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. There is a way that seemeth to a man right, and the ends thereof lead to death. So my grandma used to say to listen to her. Don't listen to men, because they're going to lead you astray. Matthew 6:34, be not therefore solicitous for tomorrow, for the morrow will be solicitous for itself. Sufficient for the day is the evil thereof. You don't have to worry about what's going on tomorrow. The evils of today are sufficient worry, and if you're doing something about it, guess what? You don't have to worry. You know, action, right action, takes the place of worry every single time. Right action in the moment takes place of any problems of worry in the future. Take care of your pennies, the dollars take care of themselves, right? Now for this month's Enochian Angel prediction, here comes a Virgo man telling you that this is a time to take life extremely seriously. No one is going to get away with anything, not right now. You're a solid citizen, especially civically. Your community is of crucial importance to you. You need cooperation because you need firm foundations under your feet so you can proceed without caution. How can anyone get anything done with an anxious attitude? Only the strong are going to survive financially when the reset button is decisively pushed down and the world's elite money stockpiles are unleashed upon the planet towards those who will do their bidding. We're talking about very, very very deep pockets. So remember that and write that down. Disclaimers in order here. High magic can be dangerous. This is intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. Remember to chant your divine tone of I use, or try out the higher aspect of simply meditating on the quality of utilizing, and be well, be wise, be all you are meant to be, Capricorn. Now for the ephemeris, information, calculations for Eastern and Greenwich Mean Time. We have first Eastern Time, and we're going to first give you the new moon. And this is, remember, Eastern Daylight Time still. So the new moon is on the 1st of September 2016. And that's at 5:03 a.m. at 9 degrees Virgo, 21 minutes. That's an annual or solar eclipse for a new moon. The full moon, we have the lunar eclipse, the penumbral, at the 16th of September 2016 at 3:04 p.m. at 24 degrees Pisces, 19 minutes. That's the penumbral lunar eclipse, 3 out of 3 lunar eclipses in 2016. To flesh that out, now the new moon on the 30th of September 2016 at 8:12 p.m. at 8 degrees Libra, 15 minutes. For Greenwich Mean Time, we have the new moon on the 1st of September 2016 at 9:04 a.m. at 9 degrees Virgo, 21 minutes. And we have a full moon on the 16th of September 2016 at 7:06 p.m. at 24 degrees Pisces, 20 minutes. That's a penumbral lunar eclipse, 3 out of 3 lunar eclipses in 2016. Now it's important here again to note that there's a new moon. If you're looking at Greenwich Mean Time, this new moon in Libra occurs on October 1st, not on the 30th of September like if you're using Eastern Daylight Time. Rather, it occurs on the 1st of October 2016. That's the penumbral lunar eclipse at 24 degrees, we're not going to get into that right now. We'll give you that next month. But anyway, it's going to be using Greenwich Mean Time if you're looking at it occurring on the 1st of October of 2016. Again, it's a new moon in Libra. All right, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Remember, we love you guys, and please join us again next month.
You can have anything you like, it's your fancy. You can have it